Hello, collectors. It has been an amazing year on For Collectors, and I'm just here to show you some of the highlights. So stick around and enjoy. Welcome to For Collectors. Who would be the actor that would play you in Pepino Man the movie?
Ooh, wow, that's a good one. Um, oh, wow. Ah, man, like back in the days, a good guy that I used to love the movie Bubble Boy. I don't know if you guys know the movie Bubble Boy,
I do remember that one.
but he's known as an action star. What's his name? Uh,
Oh, it was
Jake Gillian. Jake
yeah,
Gillian. He's
Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah, back then I knew him as a comedian. I always thought he would be good, but now yeah, I guess he's so much of an action star. So it'd be him, or maybe even Kenny Powers.
Andrew Deutsch's suggestion is Cheech from Cheech and Chong. Yeah.
I'm trying to save a little bit of money to get a tattoo removed because Jason Jason the Everyday Cardboard and I somehow woke up Sunday morning with matching tattoos that said "I love the Nationals" on our right butt cheek, and I'm trying to pay for that right now. So
We don't need to see any pictures of that, thank you. So
Well, you were upstairs.
Added below it.
So
there it is.
oh, man.
awesome.
great.
Yeah. So
I wonder if can you put the QR code or the data matrix on the back? Because then it could be as big as they need it to be at whatever size.
Yeah, but then I have like an empty gap. Like I would have an empty gap here. I have to fill in because the business card is pretty much this entire dimension. So I'd have to put something.
Put your logo there.
Yeah, I probably should.
Yeah,
Maybe that's a good idea.
Slap the logo there and put the QR or the data matrix. I call them. There's data matrix and QR codes are very similar.
Yeah.
This is what I do for a living, Sammy. So I'm kind
man.
I'm kind of in the industry, and I'm like, why can't they use an outside source data matrix code? I use them all the time. We order them all the time. So.
Can I say something?
Oh, God,
Mike,
no, Chris, you're not allowed to talk this whole time.
Mike, why don't you take some of that shiny new stuff you got there and go spin it on some Eddie Matthews so next time we do a showcase showdown, you'll represent a little bit better.
Chris, underneath where you can't see the camera, I'm holding one finger up. Guess which one I'm holding up?
Thumbs up, exactly. Giving me one of these.
Well, we'll see how Willie Mays turns out next week. Don't worry.
So what's going on, Mike?
Well, after lots of thought and many years of doing it before, I decided to hand the reins over for everyone's online YouTube hobby event of the year, and that's Hobbypalooza, over to For Collectors for you guys to take the reins and run with the show. And I'm excited about that, and I hope you guys are too.
Hey guys, it's Theo and
it's John, Theo's kid.
Hey, and we're at the National, and basically what we're doing is we're gonna put our For Collector card on the take a card, leave a card, and we're gonna sit here and see if some of the cards get taken, and then maybe we'll go up to the person and see if they know the channel or if they just grab the card. So let me show you guys the setup here real quick, and then we'll just be over here creeping, and
we're going fishing for folks.
Let's go.
This guy's over here's got it. Look, he's looking. He's looking.
He's looking. I think he took it. I think he took the card. He's got the card. Should we go talk to him? Let's go talk to him. Let's go talk to him. You got the card. Do you know us?
I do.
That's awesome. Look camera.
I'm Big Steady Cool. I was looking for it. Somebody else had one, and I thought, I gotta check that out. So I was looking for it.
He looks like this is the first time he gets to pitch in Major League Baseball because somebody's held him back because of his color. And it looks like to me that he's standing on the mound there staring at the next guy on deck, that he's getting ready to strike out and he's getting ready to take all his pinned up wrath on that person. And I just think it's got a sad, mean look to it. And it's just a beautiful card. And I know I'm reading more into that card than most, because there's no catchy little second picture of him on there, or it's not an inaction card or something like that. And he's not smiling, but I think it looks great because he's not smiling. And I'm glad there's a couple cards like that. And that looks like that's a beautiful looking frustration piece to me.
So yeah, I love everything you said there. So Greg, since you didn't like it as much as some of the other cards.
First of all, that was poetic, Chris. Like seriously, that like honestly, I'm sitting there looking, going, I literally want to change my ranking on the eye appeal right now, like, because of what you just said. I'm like, wow, like that's deep, and I love it.
It's Ozzie Smith.
All
right. So this is a great card too. Still, when he still had his afro and he was with the Padres, he's known as a Cardinal.
I just had that out to show because it's such a cool card.
Right, it is. I love that card. Yeah. And then the 80s, you had your melanin players with the afro, but you also had your white players with the afros, right? That was great.
Yeah, I remember when that was a thing. My dad had an afro.
Yeah, so did my dad. They had that puffy hair.
Everybody wanted Pepino, I'd pay big money to have an afro today.
Our very own baseball collector, Mike. Welcome.
Mike. Yeah, Mike.
It's funny, Dylan. You said you've been working on this for like a month. I worked on it for like 10 minutes, and I'm still going to wipe the floor with you.
Oh, we'll see about that one.
Oh, he's bringing the trash talk from his own show there with Chris. But
sorry, I thought you were Chris from Missouri. I apologize. I'm sorry.
Dude, I already kicked your butt once, so we're going to do this again. Don't forget about that.
In what?
The autographs. Right here. Oh, it's too low.
That's right.
Beat you.
You did. You did.
This is a rematch in a way.
Chris is saying, "Get him, Dylan," and he can't even spell your name, so we'll just let that slide.
Greg, let's just do a good hypothetical with like one of his Nolan Ryan cards that he bought. Let's say you go in there, it's one of his just regular cards, and the 10's $30 and the 9's $10. Now, is that a reasonable $20 pay up? Like, okay, that makes sense to me. Or is it still like, this is stupid? Like $10, I'll have $20 more.
That's a great question.
Greg, is the baseline of all of my collecting stupid? Is the question.
Come on, man. Come on. So first of all, all right, hold on. So first of all, nobody loves Darren more than Darren's dad and Darren's wife than me. Okay, so I'm not trying to put the screws to Darren. I'm just saying how Greg collects. This is how I collect. This does not mean it's the right way to collect. This is how I have to be much more creative with my money to be able to acquire the things that I want to acquire. if I had a different income bracket, then I would probably collect differently. I'm speaking from my perspective.
You're right.
It was like camping.
I will say this about the bar, though. If it got too busy, you'd be lucky if you got a drink. That was the problem.
Well, that's what Chris said last year.
Yeah.
That's why we brought our own.
Yeah, that was pretty neat because, like, Jason, you brought some beers there.
Yeah,
you had a nice set. Sammy, you brought a nice just of the younglings, Yinglings, whatever, yin yangs. And they didn't say anything like about, because I thought they were going to have a waitress in there. I mean, they're just missing so many opportunities.
They're waitress.
Yeah,
they didn't even have anyone to work the front desk.
Right, that bartender was working the front desk, the bar, and serving. I mean, she was all over the place.
You realize if they would have hired like 2 waitresses for us.
Yes.
They would have made a mint. I would have given. I was going to give them my credit card there. Actually, to be honest with you.
Listen to this.
That's what I thought, that they were going to serve us drinks all night.
Right.
And then you give them a big tip. They would have been happier than shit.
Oh,
when I was negotiating for that room, I told the lady, I said, I have some concerns. I said, last year, I said, I went down to the bar. I waited with my buddies at the bar. We weren't getting served. I ran up to my room, fixed me a drink, and got back downstairs. Not even her in before they even got a drink. And she said, we have that taken care of. And she said, well, we have a bar right there. We're going to have 2 waitresses right there, not just serving us, but serving that whole area.
All right.
And she said, she said, I promise you're going to be able, it's going to be totally different than it was last year.
We could do a couple of other things, because frankly, I thought like Greg said, I liked the idea that everything was right there. You had that room and everything. Yeah. But I mean, they didn't care if you brought the beers in there. What's to stop us from like bringing our own bartender in there? Bringing our own booze. They won't let you.
There's supposed to be $100 penalty for us bringing our own booze in there.
Yeah, they weren't regulating that. I'm telling you.
Nope. There was nobody to regulate her.
Yeah, but I just said, when that night, if I get, if they add $100 onto my cleanup bill because we brought in our own alcohol.
Picture this.
That saved us $100.
2 people. Maybe they're girls. I'm just saying. Maybe they're nice. 22, 23-year-old girls. They kind of know how to pour drinks. You bring in, like 5, 6 bottles, some beers like you brought in anyway. You pay them a couple $100 a night. You pay $100 for $500, $600 or whatever you've got. Everybody getting drinks and whatever the hell they want. They walk up to the bar. I mean, you guys ever lived?
Petty. They don't have working elevators. Bringing in outside waitresses for special events.
We can bring them in.
You were just hoping to get clean towels.
I had plenty of towels. I was all by myself. That's why.
Yes.
But no, I mean, if you bring it in yourself,
I think we'll just have to call the event planner at the place next time, and she'll take care of it all. She's probably booked out 6 months in advance, right?
You know how I always love to look at baseball cards like John does. So I don't know.
Man.
Let's take a look.
I got this card, John.
Can you see that?
Hold on.
Oh, and read the back. Read the back, as you can see.
All right, well, I'm going to show you the back because I can't really read it. But the first thing I want to show John, though, about the card, it's in a penny sleeve, as you can see, and something happened to it. Look, it got creased, you see? Or it's got a fold in it.
Yeah.
Can you see that? So I actually got your kit, kit in the mail today. And so I'm going to try to take that out, if you will. So here's what it says on the back. I mean, you guys can probably read it, but I can barely see it. Okay. So it says Gary Tozier, Joe Orlando, and Brett Higgins are 3 guys certain to remain teammates for years to come. Gary is one of the best card doctors in the business, able to turn just about any card into a gem. Joe runs the world's most trusted grading company, where only top quality restorations can earn a PSA 10. Finally, nobody is better than Brent at selling altered cards on eBay. Sometimes Brent even assigns his own high-end designations and joins the bidding to drive up a card's price. So that's the card, and we're going to fix this thing tonight. I've got all the goods here.
Can't wait.
While we're talking, the first thing I'm going to do, I have your special sauce that you sent me. So I'm going to pour some of this right now into I'm pouring this right in here, and I'm going to put the card in here. Let that go a little while we talk. All right, so that's
guys. Don't try this at home.
I buy a couple of those.
But the rabbit holes in the hobby are not bad at all. You go into a Bernie Williams rabbit hole for a while, that's good at the end. You know, any rabbit hole. I myself got into a rabbit hole that I really regret now, and it probably cost me buying at least trying to buy a 52 Mano because I don't know if I told anybody, but I lost all my my bonus check on the Hot Tua coin, and just kidding, man. Hell no.
You know what? JP's right.
Jeff Wilson doing the 1980 Topps break or opening a box at 1980 Topps and saying Lewis Taint about 50,000 times on the video. I mean, think about how funny that is. Lewis Taint, guys. Come on. That every time I think of it, I start laughing. I can't believe
Probably
it.
the whole reason he didn't get into the Hall of Fame today was because of that video.
Nobody knew his name. There he is. Red Sox.
Lewis Taint, baby.
Yeah.
Lewis Taint. You're Lewis Taint.
You're gonna make me show my taint.
This was a gift from Scott Reindeer Studios, by the way. Unbelievable.
I have a gift from Eddie's Cardboard Chaos sitting next to me. I haven't opened it yet. Imagine the willpower to not open it yet.
Yeah, Eddie's here. Eddie's here.
I should open it right now. Huh?
Why don't you open it? It'll be like Christmas Day.
I should open it right now. I'm going to open it.
I always like watching other people open
gifts. He's here, right? Yeah, he's right there. Look at that.
Yeah.
Bunch of rocks.
Could you imagine if you were the number one taint collector on PSA Registry? Oh my gosh.
Look at this. This is so nice.
Another taint.
The Jeff Wilson collection, Lewis Taint.
Does it say that on it?
Yes, it does.
Did Dylan do that? Oh no, that's
Eddie did.
That Eddie did that. So he should do those too.
This is now maybe my favorite thing in my collection.
A nice.
So my dad, he didn't play a lot of sports growing up. He grew up in LA, out in Los Angeles, and he had really bad asthma as a kid. So he didn't even go to school for 2 years. Like when he was in 6th, 7th grade, he had to have a homebound teacher, but they didn't have the medicines they do now to keep it under control. My dad, what he was a hardworking man that he went in the Air Force out of high school, and that's how he ended up in Middle Tennessee and met this little Southern belle, and that's my mama. And so anyways, my dad was a great man, and he worked really hard, and he took me to all my games. He was at all my, practices, but just when you look at as far as collecting, he didn't have a whole lot to do with my collecting, other than allowing me to buy packs. He was great about that. I grew up in a household where we didn't have any money, but we didn't know it, and we were happy. And I remember, my mom had breast cancer when I was in 6th grade, and medical bills just zapped us, and we were getting food out of the pantry at church, and my mom wrapped empty boxes and put them under the Christmas tree one year because we didn't have enough money for Christmas gifts, and she didn't want my friends to make fun of me. So but my dad, it wasn't for a lack of trying. Like, he worked his tail off. So a lot of who I am today is because of my dad. And he started a small cabinet shop when I was in 6th grade, and started in our garage. And that's where I learned a skill and a trade. And that's what I do for a living today. I own a cabinet shop and do custom cabinets in Middle Tennessee. But as far as, what I talked with Greg, he contracted Lou Gehrig's disease when he was 55 years old. And that's how old I am right now. And I just had my first grandchild and was just born. And so I wish he was there, but Lou Gehrig is the player, that kind of hits home with him because he had Lou Gehrig's disease. And last summer I put off, and I liked reading history books, and I put off reading the Lou Gehrig book, The Luckiest Man. And it was such an interesting read, going through how he got discovered. And he was a high school phenom and was right there in New York and in the Yankees' backyard. But how he was a mama's boy. He was the direct opposite of what Babe Ruth was. But when it got into the part where he contracted the disease, man, there was times where I would be having tears in my eyes because it's such a horrible disease. And Gehrig started having the pains in his legs, and he rounded first base and would just stumble and fall in the dirt and couldn't, you've seen the pictures of him, like the Tarzan picture where he tried out for the role of Tarzan in Hollywood, and he's got the loincloth, and you can see this dude is a mountain of a man. And so to go from being that, it's kind of like, Samson in the Bible when they cut his hair, and all of a sudden his strength is zapped. And that's what happened with Gehrig. And I saw that happen with my dad. And so he just whittled away. And so, as far as my collection, I don't have it yet, but I have one Lou Gehrig card that I showed on Greg's interview. And I just picked up the second. I have the yellow 34 Gaudy. I just picked up the green, and I want to try to get all his Gaudis and start getting a line of his. But anyways, I picked up that first yellow one because I wanted to do that to honor my dad.
All right, so we have Tim here. He's the founder of Signatures for Soldiers, and everybody that gave during Hobby Palooza, we have a check to give to Tim. And what I want to say though is we had 75 people give for Signatures for Soldiers, which is amazing. So this is the 3rd year that we've given to Signatures for Soldiers for Hobby Palooza. I do want to give a thank you to Mike Moynihan, who started all this. He couldn't be here today, but we're just excited to give you this check. So, one more thing. Eric and Scott, they did the artwork, so we definitely wanted to have them here because a lot of the donations were because of their great artwork. So thank you guys. Okay, so here's the check. It's the biggest check we've had, $5,685. So
guys,
that's awesome.
I'm not speechless very often, but just to hear 75 people getting behind this and just giving us a check like this, I mean, that's goosebumps. This money is going to help so many homeless and disabled veterans. Thank you guys. I really, thank you.
That's what I've got for you. Be sure to share some of what your favorites were in the comments below. And we are looking forward so much to what's to come in 2025. And we sure as hell hope you're along with us for the ride. So see you next time. Welcome to 4 Collectors.